Hello, this is Jerry. I'm playing Oxygen Not Included, and today I'm going to get the Honorary Doctorate achievement in this game. So that requires you to max out the research of every single thing that you can get. Now I'm going to skip the two basic research stations and just concentrate on the virtual planetarium, which is what I'm constructing now, and the material study terminal, which you can see on the left. So the virtual planetarium requires data banks, and you can produce those in an orbital data collection lab that you can see on the bottom left. Now that machine can only operate when it is in space. So you have to have a dupe that has operation skill, and it has to be in space. And they need to be there for quite a while. They need to produce quite a bit, and the machine's fairly slow at producing them. So you're going to need a rocket that a dupe can survive. So food, oxygen, toilet, all those basics. So when the rocket lands and has a set of databanks on them, I'm going to put a bin here and put that at high priority so that the dupes will take all the databanks that have been produced in that rocket and send them there. I'm going to have an auto sweeper there to load the planetarium whenever it gets empty. So there is one trick that you can get a few data banks around the world. So if you hit inspect on various items, such as lockers and various desks and whatnot, you'll get a little bit of data banks. That may save you a bit of work, particularly if you want some research early on in the game. So I chose a dupe to go up and produce some data banks. They need to be an operator as well. They're going to be by themselves, so they'll have to be a pilot as well. So getting them to be the pilot of this rocket. And as far as location is concerned, as long as it's anywhere in space, that machine will operate. So we can be one tile away from the current planetoid and don't have to actually travel for this machine to work. So let's send that rocket up into space and see what happens. First thing I do when we're up in space is take off the exosuit for the dupe. And they immediately get working on the orbital data collection lab, producing data banks. You're also going to need plastic. So I've got algae to produce oxygen, as well as plastic in order to be able to run this machine. You need 5 kilograms of plastic per data bank that you generate. And they'll be able to live up here. They've got food storage. It's frozen. It's going to last forever. I've got an episode where I've loaded that earlier. And it's got a mess hall and toilet for them to be able to use. So they'll be able to stay up here, and it's got a bank of oxygen just within the pipes itself before we even have to start burning algae. So I can kind of leave them here, forget about it. I'm going to check their progress later on to see how many databanks we get. That's the input to the virtual planetarium. The input to the material study terminal is a very different beast. That you need to find an area with high levels of radiation and build a red bolt generator. You can see 2 there on the left. Now, one of the things that produces radiation is the wheezy warts. And I used a pip to actually plant 6 of them very close together. So that's how I have this set up. And the area here is actually too cold for them. I believe it was minus 60 or above or below. They disable reducing the radiation that they have. So that's why I have a little bit of insulation. I've heated up the area just so it gets above minus 60. Anyways, that's going to start shooting red bolts into this machine, and I've got some logic there. Let's have a look. So I've detailed this in a previous episode, but we'll look at it quickly now. I've got some logic here that basically says if there's no dupe in the area and the machine's not full, put that through an and then put that through a not, and then feed that to a reflector. And the logic works such that if there's no one there and you're in need of red bolts in this machine, it'll disable the last reflector, and the last reflector looks like it's put in backwards. It's purposely meant to go that way. It's going to hold a red bolt in an infinite loop until there's no one there and the machine actually needs some red bolts. That's going to prevent a little bit of waste and keep my dupes safe. Just one quick note is that the red bolts, they do decay over time. So even if they're in the reflector going from one end to the other, they'll still decay over time. But it's going to at least keep my dupe safe and avoid a little bit of waste. I've noticed that this last reflector doesn't work so well if red bolts shoot at the same time, and if you've got 2 red bolt generators that are turned on at the same time, it's probably going to happen. So I put a second switch there so we can offset the time of which they start. I'm going to start one, get it to charge about halfway, and then turn on the other one. So I'm getting a rad bolt sent every half time rather than just 2 rad bolts every cycle that it goes through. So after this ran for a little bit, I realized one of the rad bolt reflectors was connected to automation wire that I didn't expect, and a little change like that meant that scientists got shot. But there's a positive side. I got the They Got Better achievement because of it, so there you go. Add to that, it looked like the They Got Better achievement doesn't even require the dupe to be fully healed. They just need to be treated a little bit. Anyway. This is the fix that I need to make. I moved the 2 rad bolt reflectors on the left over one tile, just keeping them away from that automated wire, disabling that one to send it up and around in a loop. Let's also at the same time look at this rad bolt that's sitting in an infinite loop while scientist is there. It's going to stay in that situation until scientists go away, please. There we go. It fired in the machine when scientists went away and the machine is in need of rad bolts. Excellent. I gotta show you guys this. This happened in my game. Digger is eating in front of the machine, yet somehow still producing data bricks. I don't why is this funny? It is effectively producing them, watching the number go up. There's 4 data banks right now, and now there's 5. It's actually normal stuff is going on, except for the fact that he's clearly eating. Checking the stats to see if anything bizarre is happening. I think he's just a normal dupe. I can only explain this as maybe a graphical bug or glitch that happened in the game. It doesn't seem to be affecting anything else. So there you go. Digger has this magic ability to eat in front of something and produce data bricks. Amazing. It gets better. Watch. It's not just that. It's every machine, I think. Looks like he's a rock star right now, just jamming away. Oh my god. I progressed to some of the final research items. Even more excitingly, I'm on the very final research item that I need to get them all. Just doing a quick test to see how many data banks convert to research points. And it turns out it's a 1-for-1 type mapping, so I need 21 more data banks to finish the research. I've got 23, so I might as well bring the rocket down, and I expect I'll have 2 left over when that's done. Now I'm curious how many rad bolts convert to research points, so very close towards the end, and just taking note of how many rad bolts are in this machine. I'm going to watch scientists as they progress through and see how that translates to. And it appears it's about 10 to 1. So 10 rad bolts is going to give you 1 research point, I'm pretty sure. This is more of an interesting fact about the development of the game. The bar for radiation research used to be green. I used to find that a lot better. I find the yellow and orange a little bit confusing, but oh well. Just watching some more rad bolts fire into this machine, and once they're in there, take a note how much research is needed, and I can calculate if this is going to be enough to do it, and it is. So therefore I can turn those rad bolt generators off and just wait for scientists to do their thing, and I should have this achievement. So where are you, scientists? All eyes are on scientists. That's because they're the only dupe that I gave the skills necessary to use the material study terminal. So let's go follow them on the cam, because that's not creepy or anything. They're in bed waking up. Oh, they're sick. Okay, this is gonna be great. So they're taking their shower, going up on the tube. He stopped for a second in the tube because he was sick. I did not know they could do that. There they are. He may have to go to the lavatory at some point in this process. Maybe not. If you could just hold on barfing for a little bit, scientists, that'd be great. Fantastic. There it is. Showed up on the left on alert. Let's click it. Amazing. There it is. Honorary Doctorate. So another achievement down. I hope you'll join me in the next episode where I get the Mind the Gap achievement. Till then.